I've been blessed with doing one on ones with you amazing community members. And there's a question that I keep getting over and over again from my one on ones. And there's a question that I get in my every single day life, and a question that I get in my comment section over and over again. So I thought, why not address the question since so many people are asking me the same exact question? Adam, how much money do I need to retire? This is such a difficult question to answer, yet extremely simple. It's difficult because everybody is in a different position and everybody has different needs. But at the same time, it's pretty simple because it's a formula, a mathematical process that just needs to be applied to your specific needs. So in this case, that question is both difficult and simple at the same time. I'm going to give you this formula. I'm not going to be wasting your time. Sometimes to get to the destination, you just have to work backwards and go over the path it takes to get to that destination. You need to ask yourself an honest question. How much money do I need to pay my bills, like my normal everyday bills, my mortgage, my utility, my gas, my car note, so on and so forth? And number two, how much do I need to buy myself nicer things in life? For example, a vacation, a car, pay for a kid's graduation, whatever. And those are the two main questions that I found that I had to ask myself in my retirement. By the way, if you're new here or you don't know, my name is Adam. I retired last year in 2024 at the age of 41 years old. And I talk about my retirement and how I fund my retirement. I fund my retirement because I made a bunch of multi-baggers. I currently still have some multi-baggers for asset appreciation. I then rely on high-paying dividend stocks to pay for my bills. And I supercharge my retirement, being able to buy myself nicer things in life by selling cash-secured puts and covered calls. If you're unfamiliar with what that is, just click on the link up above. I'm not going to bore you. It's a beginner's guide to selling options. And because I do this, I'm able to fund my retirement. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you the formula and how much you can make, and then just work backwards to figure out how much you need to retire. There's a movement called FIRE, F-I-R-E. And I don't really agree with the movement. I do agree with the theory and the thesis and the goals, but not the way you get it. And they believe in financial independence, retire early, and essentially you scrape and save as much as possible. You live what most would not say a glamorous life. And then when you retire, you live off of 4% of your savings every single year until you pass away. And I guess it works for some people, but when you retire, don't you want a steady income stream that pays for everything as well as appreciating assets? At least I know that's what I want. Or do you want to just be living on ramen noodles? Not that there's anything bad with that, but wouldn't want you to enjoy your retirement? If not, what's the point of it? Just to live okay-ish life? No, you want to live a good life or a great life if possible. I'm going to give you some numbers and you guys can multiply or subtract that amount as you wish for your specific needs and your specific goals. If you have $100,000 in dividend stocks, you can get roughly 10% of dividend yield. Before everybody screams at me and says, but Adam, SCHD, Charles Schwab, they only paid 3.5%. How do you get 10%? The truth of the matter is I get more than 10%. I believe my average is roughly 14%. This includes a lot of Bitcoin type products, so I'm going to leave that out. If you haven't watched my other playlist, by the way, there's a playlist up here and it talks about dividend stocks. I don't talk about it on this channel anymore because the YouTube algorithm actually wants me to talk more about options. So you could get roughly 10% of dividend yield. In reality, you can probably get more if you're investing in certain type of stocks like QQQI, SPY-I, IWMI, BTCI, PBDC, PFFAs, AMLPs, things like that. Those are the foundations of my dividend investing. I go with 10% because it's not so difficult to get. And for example, Armchair Finance, he's a dividend channel. I really, really like his style. I really like his channel. He also gets above 10% of dividend yield. So if you have $100,000, you can make 10% of dividend yield. Pretty simple in a wide variety of different dividend vehicles. I think I have like 20 or 25 different types of stocks and ETFs. So 100K gets you $10,000. Let's say you then have another $100,000, for example, in stocks, growth stocks like SPY or QQQ or Amazon, Google, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. You can then sell covered calls against those stocks. A covered call is when you say, I have 100 shares of a certain stock and I'm willing to sell it at a certain price by a certain date. For this, you collect a premium that somebody pays you, and we call this options premium income. If I am selling a covered call, I can make 2 or 3% a month. But in reality, you're not going to sleep at night, and there's huge risk that you're going to lose your shares. To sleep well at night with asset appreciation, you can count on banking roughly 1% a month on your covered calls. So $100,000, you're making 10% or $10,000. And on the other $100,000 that you have invested in long-term growth stocks, you're going to be making another $12,000. So far, with $200,000, you can make $22,000 of income. Not bad whatsoever. When you have a brokerage account like Robinhood and many other brokerage accounts, they will give you something called margin. They will let you borrow against your existing shares. Usually the margin is 50%. If you use the margin to buy stocks. However, if you don't use it to buy stocks, the margin is lower and it's somewhere between 25% and 50%. I always thought it was 25%, but I actually get more than that, but not quite 50%. Let's go on the low side and just call it 25%. If you have a portfolio of $100,000 of dividends and $100,000 of growth stocks, that's $200,000. And 25% of $200,000 is $50,000. When selling cash secured puts, I make roughly 2.5% to 3% every single month. A safe cash secured put is going to pay you roughly 2% a month. This is pretty conservative. So, quick announcement, everybody. On Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we have channel lives. And at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, right after the channel live, we have only YouTube channel member lives. It's a small group, like 20 people. And you get so much out of both of those lives. If you want to be a channel member, click on the link down below. Also, a lot of people have been asking me about the one-on-ones. I am still offering the one-on-ones. It's $52, which includes the PayPal fee for 45 minutes, one-on-one, and I'll answer all the questions you have as best as I possibly can in a financial, entertaining type of way. This is beta, and the price for one-on-ones is going to go up later. $100,000 of dividends is $10,000. On $100,000 of growth stocks, you're going to make another $12,000. Off of this, you're going to get collateral of another $50,000, making 2% a month on the $50,000, or another $12,000. So on $200,000, you're going to be making roughly $34,000 of income to either supplement your 9 to 5 or actually fund your retirement. So I'm not sure if $34,000 is enough for you to cover everything. Maybe you need $100,000. Well, then just multiply it. And for $100,000, you need almost 600 grand to get $100,000 of income. Maybe you need $150,000 of income. Now we're talking about $900,000 to do the same exact thing. If you need $200,000 of income, you need roughly $1.15 million in order to fund your retirement. I want to make a note. Maybe some people only want to live off of dividends. Maybe some people want to invest all $200,000 into the dividends and then use that as collateral in order to sell options. And maybe some people don't even want to own stock, and maybe you just want to use all the 200K in this example to sell cash secured puts. That's okay. I'm just giving you a formula of what you can expect, whether it's dividend investing, selling against your stocks, or just selling cash secured puts. You do you, whatever's good for you. I'm just giving you some numbers to apply for what is good for you. I understand that these numbers are big for some people and small for others. Some of you guys are well on your way, and some of you can't even see that. But the main thing is that you have a plan and a mathematical formula for what will work for you. And now you just need to find a pathway to get it. Selling options is not the way to get rich, and definitely not to get rich fast. Selling options is minimal to moderate risk with good returns. The way you grow your account is having growth stocks, picking multi-baggers, and instead of selling options, buying options. I'm not going to be talking about this on this channel because this is an income generating channel. But you guys have your formulas. Don't get discouraged. Start small, keep stacking. And even if you don't have enough money to fund your retirement today, it's not done overnight. Even the FIRE movement, it takes a while to hit your retirement. Just in my system, you're going to end up hitting your retirement and actually enjoying your life instead of hitting your retirement and essentially living like you're not retired. I should take that back and not say it's my system. It's just something that works for me, and you could adjust it for what works for you or for your specific needs. I'm just showing you what works for me. And even if you don't need this for retirement, maybe you're not going to have enough for retirement. Maybe if you have 200 grand, you're like, Adam, that's only $34,000. It doesn't help me. That's fair. But you're probably working right now. So if you're working and you're making at your job whatever money you have, well, that $34,000 definitely adds up. The more you work at work, now that you have a goal, save up as much as possible, reinvest it into the market, and do this formula so on and so forth over and over again until you actually have enough to change your life. Be it increasing your income, supplementing your 9 to 5, or actually funding your retirement to the point where you could just do a hobby like building a YouTube channel, and now you start getting paid for said hobby. Guys, I'm not a financial advisor. This is purely 100% financial entertainment. This is not to be used as advice. I'm just giving you my own personal journey. If you want more content, click on this link over here. This is an entire options playlist, and I'll see you guys in the next one.